Hey everybody, Frank and Carrie.
Hey, welcome back.
We're here in our DIY castle.
Just a small project.
It looked pretty bad when we bought it at a foreclosure auction, but we've been working on it.
For over 2 years.
Yay, 2 years.
2 years.
But today, on a cold January day, or actually
It's February.
Oh man.
Yeah, today in February, 6 more weeks of winter, according to Puxatawny Phil. But in today's video, we are covering up the beautiful stained glass window to keep it safe. Yes, kitten.
We've done that once.
Yes, on the outside.
Oh.
This time we had to do it on the inside. So when we did some work behind us, we didn't damage it. We wanted to protect it. That is a priceless window.
Yeah. And since it's original and hasn't ever been redone or anything.
No, it's beautiful.
I would say it's an antique.
I would say a little bit,
So thanks for hanging around. Enjoy your coffee, or whenever you finally get to it, enjoy whatever beverage you're drinking.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching.
What you doing over there?
Hiding the stained glass.
The time has come.
That stuff's gonna fall. Well, we're gonna knock it down.
We're gonna knock it down, but it's gotta come down. And we would much rather do it in a controlled situation.
Without the stained glass being exposed.
Exactly. So we're gonna put the 2-inch foam board back up like we have on the outside that we put up for when we did the roof. So it's just kind of sad to see it all covered up, but we're doing what we've got to do to protect her. But all this stuff has got to come down. And that up there.
For scale, that's a 4x8 piece of styrofoam. 4 foot by 8 foot, so that's how big that window is.
It's
10 by 10.
10 by 10, yeah. She's beautiful though. But
once again, here comes the voiceovers. We have 2 cameras. One works great and one had some audio problems, but we got it fixed now, so I don't know what it was. But we went out and got some 1x4s from the garage when we redid the roof, and we're going to use those to put pressure on the 2-inch styrofoam. It should be a little better in here than it was on the outside. It's kind of the same as we did it on the outside. So here I am putting that 1x4 up there, finding out my measurements were just a hair off, but at least I can cut it just a bit shorter since it's already just a hair too short. And it was a lot easier getting styrofoam up the stairs than any of the other 4x8 material we have gotten up the stairs. At least we haven't had to do any sheetrock, and we don't plan on doing any sheetrock. But obviously I can't lift it up to put it on top of that, So I'll have to go get a ladder. And there's the ladder. Don't get mad at me. It's only a few feet above the stairs. And that was a pretty wide ledge. It was very stable. And very cold in the house. If you notice, I'm wearing insulated gloves and got my hood up. The winter in the Mooreland house is very cold. It's even colder than outside. So here I get it close and I'll tap it down so it fits right on top, and then that piece will be in place. I don't know where we got this tip. I mean, it was on the YouTubes, obviously, but somebody said that they cut their styrofoam with a grinder and it works out better than anything I've ever seen. There's no dust, there's no bits and pieces left over. You cut it a little bit, score it, and it breaks really clean. So I don't remember where we saw it, but we're really glad we saw that. We put some foam on the landing because we're going to be, one of the reasons we're doing this so we can get down a whole bunch of plaster. And it's going to be falling 20 feet or so, so we didn't want it to dent up the landing. So now we got ladders on both sides. Too bad it doesn't really happen that fast. So now here I'm trying to talk Carrie into maybe not putting the plaster back on. I'm telling her that all over it's a fad to leave the exposed brick. They do it in the New England states. They just leave them exposed. But she wouldn't have any of it. So that didn't quite work. I think we're gonna have to replaster them. But at least I tried. But that's some of the plaster we took down. And there were some really big chunks we took down. That's why we didn't want it to fall all the way to the landing. So Carrie pulled them over the landing as I handed them to her. We still got some that needs to come off, but for now, and obviously some of it hit the landing. That's why the styrofoam was there. Always trying to protect what we got, because there's enough ruined already. Ladder jacks. Everybody loves ladder jacks. We'd never had a ladder jack before, but you guys are gonna really be excited about how I use the ladder jacks. Well, I'm gonna use ladder jacks exactly like they're designed, but some people don't think it's that safe. So Carrie's pointing out how tall the ceiling is, and we can't get to the top of those styrofoam boards and cover up the top of the stained glass. We struggled with how to get up there, and this is the best way. It's half of our 40-foot extension ladder, and on the other side is the 22-foot, I think it's called an articulating ladder, but those are really handy. They can fold down and go in the back of our Kia Sorento and still go 22 feet. Does anybody watch Josh and Aaron on Wild Wonderful Off-Grid? That is his most used tool. He loves channel locks, and everybody in the comments talks about how he shouldn't use channel locks for this and shouldn't, but he's a master at it. So I got my ladder jacks put on, figured out exactly where the ladder needed to go to get the right angle, and then I think I was still putting the other ladder jack itself together so it could go on the other side. Oh, yep, there I am. Doing the ladder jacks. Of course, I have styrofoam down to protect the floor from all the work. And putting the ladder jack on the other side. Now be kind, it's the first time I'd ever done ladder jacks. But it seemed pretty simple and I followed the directions. Really, I did follow the directions. So, but soon we'll put the walkboard on. Alrighty, back with the step-by-step commentary. We were talking about how it looks as safe as ever. Safety first, second, and third. There's no way it could get safer than it is. Of course, we were being a little facetious because it seems sketchy. But at least it's nice to be able to climb over the railing and get on a ladder. Of course, to safety it up, had to take and there's clips designed to hold down everything, and you always got to put all the safeties on, otherwise it's not as safe. And I don't know, whoever uses walkboards a lot, that's the only way I could think of getting on one. And as I said, perfectly safe. And Carrie said, I don't know about that. We also talked about how that's the highest we'd been from the first floor, which it seemed pretty high. And I was a little worried that I wouldn't be next to the stained glass, but it was. And I was talking about how it did seem a little tall. I was a little spooked, but it wasn't terrible. Carrie was asking, trying to figure out how we could put a railing on it or something, but there's just no way to. There's no way to put a railing on it. You just got to be careful and don't jump off. And there's certainly nowhere to put a safety harness because there's nothing to tie it to. So it was safe enough just to walk across it, hold myself on the. So I didn't have to balance completely. I just held myself up with the ceiling. And Carrie was excited when I said, there's nothing that could go wrong. Impossible for anything to go wrong. She kind of went, uh-huh. So. and putting in the very last piece. I don't know how long it took, but it wasn't that bad. But it certainly is going to make a huge difference. These 1x4s, they are just long enough to make them so they spring into place and hold that, because it doesn't have to be anything special. It just has to protect the stained glass from any fallen debris. Because if you look above that, that's sheetrock that was put up in the 80s, and it's not doing too well, because on top of it is about 3/4 inches of plaster. So the plaster gave way and the sheetrock cannot hold it. So that's that. The stained glass is covered up. It'll stay covered up until we can ensure that nothing else is going to fall. But I don't know any other way we could have taken down that sheetrock, because it could work as a hinge and just come right through. If one fell, it could just go right through. We certainly didn't want that. Stained glass is nice.
The girls are keeping me warm.